Are you thinking of remote working and relocating to a more affordable city? Bringing your high-paying remote job with you? If so, get ready to unlock the secrets of the ultimate in remote work destinations, Kansas City. It's the commonly overlooked, but recently named best city in the world to work remotely. In this video, we're going to break down exactly why Kansas City was named best city in the world to work remotely and why so many people are cutting costs in their other cities, moving here to live the good life in Kansas City. Now, to provide an accurate assessment, ranking organizations that we rely on, they have considered a wide range of criteria. So they're going to look at things like cost of living, safety, healthcare, internet speed, average working hours, commute times, climate index, noise and light pollution, even the air quality, and what I think is the most important is the ability to connect with others. Now, a lot of people that move here to work remote, they come from areas that have high cost of living and high wages, but they just get to a point where they're over it and they want to have the things that the big cities just don't offer them. It's like if you travel all the time, you just want to be home, and if you're home, you just want to travel. I think it makes a lot of sense personally to live where you're comfortable all the time and then travel for excitement. Post below what you think. Would you rather live in a one destination city every day or live in a more affordable city that allows you the ability to travel more often? Now, if this is speaking to you and you're thinking about cashing out of your expensive city, building a more affordable and comfortable life, go ahead, hit that button, ring that bell. That way you're notified every time one of these new videos comes out. Plus, it makes the YouTube gods happy and it will help us keep bringing you the content that you need to make good decisions. If you're even thinking about moving to Kansas City, go ahead and reach out to us immediately. Call, text, DM, whatever you're most comfortable with. Our team specializes in helping people just like you transition to Kansas City, and we've helped hundreds of happy clients, again, just like you, find their perfect spot in our city. Also, be sure to check the comments where you can find a link to our free Find Your Perfect Spot in KC personality quiz, where we will be able to quickly narrow down where you might want to consider living based on what you like to do when you're not at work. Remember, when it comes to moving to Kansas City, all you have to do is point the direction, and we'll guide you there. Let's start with the quality of life indicators. Kansas City excels in this category, offering a cost-effective lifestyle that allows remote workers to enjoy more of their hard-earned money. Now, residents in Kansas City experience some of the lowest cost of living among larger metropolitan areas in the United States. For example, Kansas City is 14.8% more affordable compared to Chicago, 18% more affordable compared to Denver, and 90% more affordable compared to San Francisco. Now, our clients who have moved here from these expensive cities, they're usually relieved to be able to enjoy the fruits of their hard-earned work here immediately. Now, we had a client last year who couldn't even afford a home in San Francisco, and they came here and bought a 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 3-car garage in the Parkville area on just his income alone. Now, moving here not only allowed him to get more for his money, but his wife was able to stay at home with their newborn. The safety in Kansas City was another driving factor for them. Where they lived, they really didn't want to have their kids growing up there. They wanted the traditional swing set in the backyard, bikes in the cul-de-sac experience for their kids. They liked spending their 20s in the Bay Area, but now that they were nearing 30 and baby on the way, they were looking for something to settle into and someplace safe for their children to live. Now, most areas of Kansas City are considered to be very safe and walkable even at night, but keep in mind, most of Kansas City really requires a car to get around. Now, when it comes to remote work essentials, Kansas City leaves no room for disappointment. With some of the fastest internet speeds in the country, remote workers can count on lightning fast and affordable internet. On March 30th, 2011, Kansas City was selected from over 1,100 applicants to be the first Google Fiber community, dubbing KC the Silicon Prairie. This gave the city a heck of a head start, and developers followed. Meta is currently building an enormous data center here because of this fiber network. The complex is expected to attract even more big tech tenants who will take advantage of the infrastructure brought in for that project. In Kansas City, due to the affordable cost of living, people generally don't have to work as many hours as they do in the larger cities. 8-hour, work days are the norm, and side hustles are really only for the extra motivated, whereas in other cities, you really have to be driving Uber after you get off work just to make ends meet. That's not common here. This means remote workers can enjoy more leisure time to take advantage of the city's nightlife, restaurants, and events. Basically means you can actually live and not work all the time. As we mentioned earlier, you really need a car to get around Kansas City, so there are highways everywhere, and aside from a few congestion spots, you'll generally find it's easy to get around all parts of the city. In fact, across the entire city, it only takes 40 minutes, and most destinations will be within 20 minutes or so. Now, this is something that I never seem to understand when I travel to other cities, so what looks like a 10-minute drive for me on a map ends up being 40 minutes of stoplight, brake, go, stoplight, brake, go, and it's something we definitely take for granted here. So a good rule of thumb in Kansas City is 10 miles is generally going to be about 10 minutes as long as you're on the highway. All right, let's talk about what makes Kansas City an absolute gem. When it comes to climate, noise, light pollution, and air quality, Kansas City is a pretty safe bet. It is incredibly quiet, and the air quality is as good as it gets in any big city. Now, picture this. Kansas City offers a moderate climate with a touch of everything. We have all 4 seasons. You've got warm summers for those fun outdoor adventures, and you have cozy winters that paint the city white. It's the kind of climate that keeps things interesting and your closet full. So you will need clothes for all seasons. Many people love sweater weather, and most of the year that is really what we have. Now let's talk about the peace and quiet you'll find in Kansas City. Neighborhoods here are generally quiet and low key. We have a few busy spots where you'll hear some honking, but overall it's the kind of city where you'll hear kids playing in a yard and you'll still hear birds chirping. You're never really too far from nature, which is good for mental health, and taking a walk through a park around trees and having some sun on your face can significantly decrease cortisol levels. So tree-lined streets and parks are excellent places to escape, and they are very common here. If you're moving to a new city and planning to work remote, meeting people can be a huge concern. Most adults meet their friends through work, so if you're planning to work from home, how will you meet others? Well, there are so many people just like you moving to our city for the exact same reasons. There are several meetup groups in the city that are just for this. There's also WeWork offices that allow you to co-work with others if you find that you need to get out of the house. Kansas City is known for being a friendly town. Meeting people here is actually very easy, and it's pretty casual. Many of our top nightlife spots are going to be activity-based, so places like Chicken and Pickle, they're going to have a lot of backyard, get-together type of yard games, and of course there's going to be pickleball. Now be sure to check out places like Panther's Place. It's a mix of like yard chairs and tropical area. I don't know how to describe it. Basically, there's a lot of yard chairs, fold-out chairs around fire pits, and you're kind of forced to get into those circles, and it's one of the easiest places that I've found where you can find yourself in an easy conversation. Then there are also many places where you can join sports leagues like the Sandbox, where you can get involved in like a casual beer volleyball league or the pickleball, that they have bag tournaments there all the time. The thing that is different though about Kansas City is that we're not used to having to look at the ground when we pass a stranger. We're just not socially programmed to avoid a conversation like you have to be when you're riding a subway or walking the streets of a big city at night. That's something I still make a fool out of myself doing when I go to a big city. I'm always holding doors and saying hello. It's natural to me, but in other cities I'm a weirdo. So with that said, it's easy to meet other weirdos like me here, and it may take a bit of an adjustment to get used to people being friendly, but I think it's something worth adjusting to. Kansas City is not a tourist town, so most people in big cities assume there's nothing here because no one they know personally has traveled here. The cool thing is that most all of the cool amenities we have are built just for us. We use this entire city as our playground, so I highly encourage you to come visit. Take our quiz, it's down below, and find what areas will speak to you. Go explore those areas, and if you're coming out, be sure to reach out to us so we can help put together a plan for you. If you'd like to see some houses while you're here, our team would be more than happy to give you a local secrets tour and give you a true Kansas City experience. Again, we're trying to keep the YouTube gods satisfied, so ring that bell for us. And again, reach out however is most comfortable for you. We're here. And remember, when it comes to moving to Kansas City, all you gotta do is point the direction and we'll guide you there.